Last March, over a 90-day period, Brett, we saw rates go up over 3% in 90 days. I don't know if it's accurate, that was the largest rate increase in the history of the country, like that much, that quickly. I think people are more or less used to, like, the consumers out there are understanding they're not going to get a 2.75 rate anymore. But there is still a group saying, hey, I'm just going to pause. I'm going to wait till rates come down. Have you had that happen in your business, Brett?
We absolutely have, and kind of here's been our response to that, because that's probably, you're all confronting that in every market. Yeah. And we at first want to just align and agree with them, and that is the rates certainly were higher than they were last year, but we don't believe waiting is a good idea. And I want to ask, so Craig, can I explain why?
Please.
Yeah. So interest rates, are between 6 and 6.5% right now. And that's actually considered average when we look at the last 40 years of interest rates. They only appear higher because at the beginning of 2021, we had rates down in the 3% range. But here's what we know. If rates come down, prices go up. As soon as rates tick down, buyers start entering the market and drive prices back up. And we are off our highs, like prices have come down and they've already started to come back up. So experience tells us too, that when rates come down at an amount significant enough to capture buyer interest, we can see prices jump as much as 3 or 4% in 1 month. So here's what we've said. Don't focus on the rate, focus on the house. Let's find you a great house and buy it. If after purchasing that property, rates go up, well, guess what? You won, because we just bought the property at today's rate. And if rates go down, you can refinance and you win. You got the house you want at a price that was not at the peak of the market, because prices have come down a little bit. So in the meantime, if you're concerned about payment, let's explore some different options, either an interest-only payment or potentially maybe even having a seller issue us a credit so that we can buy down your interest rate. Because if your monthly payment is your concern, we can talk with our mortgage lender and find a way to compress that monthly payment. But let's get you into the house, right? And whatever happens with rates, you win.
If rates go up, you win. If rates go down, you win.
Craig, can I do that one with you as well?
Yeah, buddy.
Because I think it's very important that a script, there's not a magic bullet that's just going to get them to do what you want. You've got to ask them questions to help them self-discover. So let's just role play. So Craig, you were telling me about rates is one of the reasons you want to pause right now. Tell me a little bit about that.
They were at like 3% when we first started looking. They went up and they've been fluctuating around. It's like, we don't really have to buy. We'd like to downsize, get a smaller home. Kids are off to college. So we're not in a hurry. We're just going to pause it, Nick.
Yeah. And Craig, I got to tell you, that makes perfect sense. Rates go up. So as a buyer, you're like, you know what? I'm just going to sit back and wait for rates to come down. Now, I have to ask you, what do you think most buyers are doing right now?
What do you mean?
Like, you're deciding rates are a little high, so you're going to pause your search. What do you think most buyers in the market are also doing?
Probably also pausing, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, that's exactly right. We see it all the time, and they're all pausing. So right now, you have less buyers in the market because rates are high. But let's say we wait for the rates to come down. Do you have an idea of where you'd want to be so you could pull the trigger and get back out there?
5, I think I've given up on the 2.75s and the 3, Nick. 5 sounds like a great number to me.
Yeah, I think that's a reasonable number. Now, just playing devil's advocate, what do you think every other buyer sitting on the sidelines is going to do when rates hit 5?
Streets are going to be flooded with buyers.
Yeah, and then what happens to your purchasing power?
It's going to get competitive, isn't it?
Yeah, and then you're going to have to pay more, waive inspections, waive appraisal, give your second born. Like, all of a sudden, it gets so much tougher to buy a house. Now, let me just paint another scenario for you, Craig. If we bought today at 7%, oh my God, who wants a 7% rate? You bought today at 7%, and in a year or 2 years, that rate drops down to 5%. What will you have to do in order to capture that 5% rate?
Refinance.
Yeah. And what will every other buyer who was sitting on the sidelines have to do? They didn't buy when you did.
Right.
They're all rushing to the market, and we're going to go back into this multiple offers, everything going crazy. As values go up, you win.
I love it. Two great scripts, different views on it, of how to overcome it. Absolutely outstanding.